everyone, and welcome to our What's New webinar designed just for our Canva for Education community. Today is our Canva World Tour edition, and you will get a first look at our latest and greatest features and learn how to put them to use in your classroom. First things first, a few housekeeping items. Today's webinar will be recorded and will be available on both our YouTube channel, but it will also be emailed to you within a few days. Now, while there aren't any professional development certificates for this session, we hear you and we are working on a way that we can offer this for our future webinars. You'll see our lovely team of moderators will be helping me to answer questions as we go through today's webinar. For all questions, please use the Q&A box so we can make sure the team of moderators are able to help answer your questions. The chat just moves so incredibly fast, and it helps us help you if you put your questions in the Q&A box. And if you don't already have a Canva education account, you will see the link in our chat, and we hope you'll get your whole school district, Ministry of Education, or institution on board today. And now, without further ado, we always like to kick off this webinar with a little bit about the speaker. Today, you are joined by myself, Leena. I'm a product educator at Canva Design School. Our team helps create all the courses and teacher resources that you use and utilize in your classroom. I was an educator for 10 years, doing a multitude of things, and now I've been in the edtech space for over 7 years. And my favorite part is being able to empower educators around the world. Now, we always like to kick this off just getting a better understanding of who you are and what your familiarity is with Canva. So we'd love to know how familiar you are with Canva. Are you a daily user using Canva every day in your classroom? Are you a new beginner user and just really getting your bearings with what Canva education is? Or are you somewhere in between? Remember, there's no wrong answer. The best way is to just learn where you're from on this scale, because somebody can always learn something from these webinars. Amazing. I love seeing where everyone is on the scale. It's one of my most favorite parts, is being able to learn and teach you wherever you are. Now, today we're going to cover what is Canva education, what's new in Canva, explore new educator resources, and leave some time for Q&A at the end. And I'll probably answer some questions as we go through today's webinar as well. Now, what is Canva education? Such an amazing question. Canva education is an interactive learning platform built for K-12 classrooms with everything you need to transform how you teach. Not only that, but Canva launched in 2019, and with over 100 million students and teachers using Canva monthly, 1.5 billion designs have been created by our educator community. That means students and teachers just like yourself, and over 700,000 schools and over 15,000 school districts around the world. My most favorite part, however, is that it's 100% free for K-12 schools and systems. There's also the visual suite, everything you need to design, teach, and inspire in one single place. From sheets to docs to whiteboards to presentations to social media to websites, even all in one single design. How cool is that? Now, why is Canva education free? Such an amazing question, and a question that we get so often. Well, it's part of our two-step plan. Step one of our plan is to build one of the world's most valuable companies, and step two is to do the most good that we can, and education and nonprofits fit in that bucket. We also believe that education is a human right, and the skills that students learn transcend the K-12 landscape. That means that my sister can create a baby shower invite, or someone at a really large business can create all of their marketing collateral, or you as an entire school district can create everything that you need, from teaching to learning to advertising and everything in between. So it really does transcend that landscape and give students the skills that they need to move beyond the classroom. Canva is becoming an industry standard tool. With Canva Education, students can build those future-ready skills like communication, collaboration, creativity, and adaptability. Not only that, but Canva Education empowers everyone to create, collaborate, and communicate in the classroom and beyond. All right, now we talked and covered what is Canva education. Now it's the moment you've all been waiting for. What's new in Canva education, new educator resources, and Q&A. Now, in this What's New in Canva, we will talk about the new feature, and then we'll move into demoing each of the products. So get ready and let's do this. All right, so this part is engaging students, where you can reimagine lessons with AI that does the groundwork. So we'll talk about some of the AR features and tools. And then throughout this webinar, you're going to see some specific labels under each one of these. So you'll see Canva Teacher, Canva School, and Canva Districts. Canva Teacher means a teacher who has their own individual account signed up for Canva Education. A school means you are part of a school team, and a district means you are part of the Canva District product. So you'll see these on each one of our features. So right here at the bottom, you see Canva Teacher, Canva School, and Canva District. So let's talk about Canva Code 2.0 and one of our most exciting updates, where you keep teaching, not tracking manually. Canva Code automatically organizes students' responses in a Canva sheet, giving you quick insights into student understanding and areas for support. Let's take a look at what that looks like in action. All right, so I'm on my Canva homepage, and I can use one of these code templates here, or I can type in my own code. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and go with this fun memory matching game. Now, this has in here what I want the widget to do, so what I want Canva Code to create, and then what I'll create, what I want it to do, and then the style of what we want it to do as well. I'm going to add in student name, and grade level for data tracking fields, just to make sure that I have the ability to connect that to a Canva sheet. And then I'm going to go ahead, I can do this with my voice and create the prompt and have it type it out for me, or I can go ahead and click the purple button. Make sure you've done Canva AI and you've tapped Canva Code. If so, you'll see these code templates down below, and all of your recent chats are located right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to tap that purple button, and I'm going to let it do the work. Now, while that's happening, I'm going to go ahead and answer some of the questions that we've had that are really common while this is coding and doing the work for us. This question I've seen already pop up. So is this session being recorded? Yes, it is. It will be emailed in a couple days and also be located on our YouTube channel, where we host all of our What's New webinars. Can you write these prompts in Spanish so it generates the activities in Spanish? Canva Code is available in a variety of languages. Just make sure you check that for you. But you can type it, so make sure that you check that as well. What is another question? So we'll talk about more of the AI things. There's been some other updates to Canva Code outside of just this. You can also copy your code, which I'll show you how to do. And now you can actually publish directly from here as a website. So it's pretty great. I see a lot of questions about PD and if we'll be offering exclusive webinars for specific grade levels. So right now we will just keep this Canva. This one will be open for others, but we love hearing that feedback and we will bring it to our team for suggestions. So you'll see here the game has been created, and this is our matching game, and it does have the fields for student name and entering your grade level. Now, before it used to not say this, but now you can click on show your code, and you can copy your code and put that into another, you can copy that code and use that code somewhere else. This is the HTML code. It does tell you that right here. As a former computer science teacher, just letting you know that. And then you'll see here data. I'm going to tap that in a second. You can use this in a design. That means that you can publish this version. So each time you make modifications, your versions will appear here in the chat. You can publish each version separately. And what that means is that this right here is kind of what we call like draft mode. So it's still in the editable mode of it. And then once you publish it to one of these, a website, presentation, doc, or whiteboard, then you're no longer in that edit mode. And now you're in the basically usability mode of that. And now you can now publish. So you can go ahead and you can publish directly right here. You can also put your settings and make sure if you need this to be password protected. So if you're creating something like a fluency timer, you could password protect this so only students and teachers that you want to have access to will have access to it. So I think that's a really great feature right there. So I'm just going to click out of that. And then now I'm going to click on data. And so when I click on data, you'll see that it's now connected to a sheet. I'm going to click on there, and now you're going to see it's going to bring me to a sheet. So it tracks the student name, the grade level, the matches found, the time taken, the questions answered, and the game time completed. And you'll see each of these fields here have a data connector at the top. And so that's what will be connected to our game. So now that I'm just going to use it in, let's say I'll use it right now on a whiteboard. I can enter my name. So I'll put in Leena. Let's just say my grade level is grade 7. And then I'm going to start the game. And then I'm looking for matching. Okay. And obviously this has nothing to do with the academic piece of it, but I'm looking for, this is interesting. I need to, there we go. Okay. All right. So now you'll see this is just tracking to see how much, oops, if I can find my matches. Sometimes we do have to adjust our widget, make sure it's in the right place. Okay. And then you will continue working through this game. And you can see it's telling me matches, questions. What's one thing you'd like to learn from your team? So there's questions popping up, so something we can track together. And then here, what motivates you the most in your work? So this is just a memory game to kind of boost your connectivity. Now we can change that all we want. So it tells us my name, how long it took us, and how many questions we answered while we were working through this matching game. So just a good use case to be able to use it. Now, I love to use this for actually like simulations or other things like that. There's a ton of other ways that you can use it. Remember, we just used a code widget that was already here. Now, a vocabulary matching game would be another one to do, where you can put your this says geometry terms in here. Remember to make sure that you assign it data fields. So please include the data fields of name and grade level. And as this codes, it will ensure that you have a Canva sheet that matches that. So just keep that in mind when you're moving through that. And moving on to forms. Now, this I know is something I, as a former educator, am extremely excited about. So add easy to use classroom ready forms to any design and instantly collect student responses in Canva sheets. Great for quick check-ins of understanding, reflections, and feedback. Now, before we had Canva Forms, which I'll show you exactly what those are like. Canva quizzes and polls. And now we can combine all of those to track a little bit more evidence. So let's go ahead. Let's move in again to our live demo. And I'm going to start here clicking on templates. And I'm going to click on an education presentation. And I'm going to type in photosynthesis. And I'm going to use one of the templates from the Canva library. Okay, so this one looks like a good one. Perfect. I'm going to customize this template here, or I could create one using Canva AI. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just come over to the elements. And then here you will see forms. So it used to say polls and quizzes, and it no longer will say that. It will just be these forms here. So we can go ahead and let's say we want something for education. So let's see what we want. A lesson assessment. So I'll just go ahead and add this in here. And when I hover above this, I can edit it. So now I can add a short answer. I can add a long answer. I can add multiple choice if I want. I can have check boxes. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete some of these. So we have some, So we can also change the color. So we can see the colors that are already in here. So I might use the colors that are already based inside of this design here. And so now we can see that. And then I can come over and change the text color. so we can have it match our design exactly. And then each one of these are now editable fields. You can add numbers, you can have multiple choice questions, you can have a mood meter if you want in here. And you'll see here that you're able to just adjust. Let's remove this one. We'll go ahead and adjust these. And the best part about this is, so we have our name, we have our questions that we populated here, and then we can click on responses. Now, what we want to have is a response. Somebody completed a response in here. So we want to make sure that we have the response. So we're going to put in here. So I type in Leena. I'm just going to check these. Hello, new question. New question. I'll type these in here and then I'm going to submit. And once you have responses, now you can go to responses. Remember, I'm just hovering on top of my form and you can see the response here. You can view the responses, all the responses that are here, and you can click link to sheet, or you can link to the sheet right here. So you can tap link to sheet. And then once you do, it will go ahead and link here. So you can see the student name, even though it did track who I was. Now, students do need to be logged in order for this to be tracking. You can decide on here when you're doing your responses, you can decide, you can also reset the responses if you want. And then you'll see here that you don't have a sheet, so you'll have to relink the sheet there. But on your responses, if it will also collect anonymously, depending on if you're sharing this as like a public view link, you can have that as well. So that is how you do our new forms and quizzes. Okay, now magic activities. You've seen this in our back to school webinar. We launched it in beta and now it's fully rolled out to everyone, where you can create classroom ready activities in seconds, tailored by grade, subject, and learning goal. AI handles the prep so you can focus on teaching, instantly generating engaging lesson content. So let's go ahead and let's take a live demo into that. So I'm going to go back to my Canva homepage where we've been working. And you can click in classwork. And in classwork at the top here, you'll see magic activities. So you go ahead and click on magic activities. You'll see here this activity library. So depending on what you're looking for, these do go over higher order thinking skills. So you'll see the learning purpose, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, the subject, the grade. So we can go ahead and click on maybe on any one of these. So we can click on comprehension. We can type in the topic here if we want, or we can click on any one of these up in the top. So I'm actually going to say create a compare and contrast for solids versus liquids. And I'm just going to go ahead and type that in there. And I'm going to say for grade, 5th grade, you will see right now we are beta testing. This was only open for beta for 5, 6, 7, 8. And now we are beta testing for K through 4. So make sure you check that out. And then this is science, and the learning purpose is that I want them to analyze. And I'm just going to click the purple button here, and you'll see here that it will take a couple moments. It's going to create the targets, and then it's going to go ahead and create the activity. So I want to double check if this is what I want it to be doing. Students will be able to compare and contrast the properties of solids and liquids by identifying their characteristics and discussing similarities and differences using scientific vocabulary. So what I love about this is that it's filled this out for me in without me having to do much thinking. So I was not as detailed as I should be, but it created 3 really great activities. So you'll see here, it tells you the activity type, compare and contrast, compare and summarize. I can select each and every single one of these. What you'll see here is that this compare and contrast is what I initially asked it for. This is a whiteboard, and each one of these are docs. So there are 2 design types that are created with each of these. So then I'm just going to click create, generate. And it's going to take a few moments to go ahead and create that for me. Amazing. Who doesn't love when something is creating something high quality for you without you having to do much prep work. So letting AI really do the work, which we did for Canva Code. And we utilize forms with linking the data to sheets to be able to engage our students. And now we're going to be creating a magic activity that's going to be a higher order thinking skills right there, ready for us to use, tailor, and modify for our students. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to open my activities. And there is always a teacher guide at the top of these activities. So you'll see here, it has each of the activities that we've created over here on the side. We are still taking feedback, so please provide your feedback if you have any right there. So it tells us what the activity is going to be doing, what the students are going to be learning about. They're going to be compare and contrasting, and then it has this compare and contrast. It has a think, compare, share on it, which I love all of these activities. And then this one is to compare and contrast. So there's this teachers getting started, and then so it tells us a teacher's guide up here, how to use this, what is helpful, how you assign it, all of those good stuff. And then here it has what you want students to do, and then we have the same thing, same sort of idea on our last one. So let's go back to this. Now let's say I'm working with students, let's say at a different skill level. So compare key traits of solids and liquids. So what I can do is I can hover over this and I can click on the pencil and I can transform this text. And I'm going to say, remember this was for 5th grade. So make this for a 2nd grade reading level. And then, so I just clicked on the pencil. I clicked on transform text. I'm going to type this again, make this for a 2nd grade reading level. And then I'm going to tap the pencil. And now you can see that this key traits, some of those words that might be a little bit more difficult, like organize, is a little bit more simplified. And so I can just replace the text there. I can also use this to translate if I want. So I can say translate to Arabic if I want. And this is going to go ahead and translate. So I can replace it if I want. I can do all of that. So that's the way that you can go ahead and modify your magic activities. Okay, so now we're going to talk about inspiring curiosity, where we turn curiosity into confidence and AI skills. So we're going to talk about Video 2.0. With Canva AI image tools, turn simple prompts into classroom-ready visuals. It's perfect for sparking creativity or bringing complex concepts to life. So let's take a look at how Video 2.0 is a little bit different. So we'll come back to Canva and we'll go ahead and we'll click on video. And I'm just going to click on a landscape video here. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to type in photosynthesis. We'll just continue using that same topic. And this is a video, so I can go ahead and apply these pages here. And you'll see that this timeline looks a lot different than it had looked before. So we can expand the timeline if we want, which I love to do. And you'll see here that this is the background image and you have transitions here, you have your audio here, and then you have your layers. So for this page, this is the page that we're looking at here. We have each of these layers that we can now modify, change, transition. So you can see you can have transitions for each one of these. I could change this so it actually appears on both. And so when we're playing it, we can have this other layer appearing how we want, so we can see the different variances of the timeline. If I want to bring something out, let's say I just type in photosynthesis in here. And let's say I have this and I want to add it to somewhere. Maybe this isn't where I want it. Maybe I want it over here. We can just, this is a trailhead, so we can move this wherever we want it. And you'll see here that now this has appeared there. And you'll see the different layers of everything that's on here, which ones you can change each and every single one. So it's now become a layered timeline, and you can have multiple you can lock this background too. So you have multiple abilities to really have more variance and change in the video 2.0 timeline. And then also in the uploads, when you go to record yourself, you can record a talking head, record a voiceover, generate AI voice, and then also screen recorder for desktop. That's new. It's not something that we'll be covering today, but basically you can have Canva become a desktop recorder. It's probably one of my favorites, but it's just another way that you can utilize these here. So a talking head, just a reminder, is me talking on it. And as you can see, my green screen is back here behind me. And then you can also record a voiceover. So that means just strictly audio. That's something that we launched at Canva Create. What is it? What is its function? And I can have this here and I can play it back. Okay, so it's there. It's there playing there as that. So if you're doing some sort of like podcasting in your classroom, that's a really great use to be able to use that as well. Magic Video. Create ready to share videos in seconds with AI that styles, trims, and sequences your clips for you. So we can actually do this. So what we're going to do is here in our same design, we're actually going to go to Magic Media. This is where you get 3D graphics. You can go to videos and then we can say create a reel for photo synthesis. And then I'm going to hit generate the video. And it's going to take a few moments and it's going to generate a video for me. All right, while that's going, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to answer some questions. Can magic activities be created for all grade levels? Yes, it can. Right now it goes up to grade 8, so K through 8. And then if you need to use any variants of any changes or anything, you can use that translate text to go ahead and cover that, like go ahead and modify the activity based on that. Okay, let's go ahead and play this video. So we have the photosynthesis happening of a leaf. So let's go ahead and just add this at the end. So I'm going to do a blank. I'm going to change the color. Oops. Change the color of this to match the rest of this. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add this video. And I can move it to a different layer if I want. So I can layer this on this video. So I can go here and you can see that now it is layered on top of the video. So we just created that, which I think is pretty cool way to be able to do that. Now you can create, and the more detailed you are, the more it will create. But I love how accurate, like how realistic does that look? So if we were to go into a full video and we're to go to our spaces, we go to the end. I mean, that looks pretty great, right? Like pretty realistic and something that I didn't grab from the library. It's something that I created for myself using Magic Media. So I think that's pretty great. Again, I just want to go over this really quickly. So in the uploads, you can record a talking head, which I just talked about. That's me recording to do my video there. I can also record a voiceover. So I can lower this a bit and then I can see this. So I can say, what? Oh, wait till it records. Make sure you select the right thing. And then we're going to say upper epidermis. What is it? The single layer of cells covering the top surface of the leaf. What is its function? Provides protection from, and then I'm going to finish and move this a little bit. And then I'm going to hit play. Upper epidermis. What is it? The single layer of cells covering the top surface of the leaf. And I can lower the volume. I can also balance all the audio across all of it. And then I can click here on this one and I can increase the audio. I can also click enhance voice so it has a better voiceover. And now I'm going to go ahead and click play once it loads. Upper epidermis. What is it? The single layer of cells covering the top surface of the leaf. What is its function? Provides protection from. Now we've covered video to magic video, video 2.0. And now we're going to talk about one of my favorites, which is Canva AI. So we have the AI powered editor now, AI powered comments, and AI powered elements. So let's go ahead and let's go back to our photosynthesis here, and we can continue working on this same doc. I'm going to go into design. And so now you can see AI is now in the editor. Okay. We can also go into Magic Media and we can create a 3D element. So let's do a leaf in the fall. I don't know. Let's just see what happens. Or a leaf, let's just do an evergreen leaf. I'm going to generate, and it's going to create a 3D element for me. And we'll let it think a little bit. We're seeing a lot of great questions come through, so keep those coming, keep asking those. A good question is, yes, this is available for everyone. Also, the mobile version of this is really great. It's a lot easier to use and navigate. So why this is working over here. On the timeline, you can do zoom page. You can also change it. So you can change this right here. If you click on zoom page, this will stretch or decrease the timeline. And you can see here, look at this leaf that it just created. So I can add this to my design. Whoops, I added a few more times. And then remember, anytime that you do add something, so you can see now I can turn this around. So you could create something that like a 3D element in which you can like have students explore that element. So something like the human heart would be like a really good one that we could add to it. So we've done the 3D elements. You can see rotate 3D, reset the resolution of it. And then over here on our design, we can see here when I'm on the outside of the design, I can click on Ask Canva. And then you can generate text. You can give me design advice. You can do all of that there. So when I do this, I'm going to say at Canva, give me design advice. And let's go ahead and see what it tells me. Now, this is a template that I already used, but it's going to help me design this better. So we give it a few moments. I like how fun and approachable this looks for a science project. The green palette ties nicely to the subject. The title, text, and illustration are both bold, so they compete a bit for attention. Try giving the what's inside a leaf text a slightly more breathing space contrast so it's clear. So let's go ahead and let's go through. So what they're saying here is that this could have a little bit more contrast to be able to do that. So it's basically teaching you how to do that, but you can also generate text. So we can say generate text. And it's going to go ahead and create some text for me. Okay, so we can say peek inside a leaf, tiny words, big spaces. So now we can see that it now adds it to our design. So it's given us some extra words to work with, which I think is really great. So I could go ahead, put this in white, tiny worlds, big secrets. So there's some good things that come from here, some good suggestions. So this could be a really great indicator for students to be able to use, especially if they're needing some help with their design. Okay, streamline workflows, manage, communicate, and collect work all in one place. All right, did you know that Canva just recently launched email where you can create clear, engaging emails that connect with your school, community, and stand out in every inbox? So let's go ahead and let's go back to our design. Let's go back to Canva. And now on the Canva homepage in the visual suite, which I discussed, you'll now see email. You can design an email or you can have it teach you how, obviously. There's a ton of email choices right here, or you can utilize AI and say, create a school newsletter that is easy to read. And we can go ahead and create this and have it think, and we can have it generate our design. You can also use your words or use a picture for reference. So let's say you already have something that you've been using. And then now we can go ahead and we can click this. We can replace our curtain page. We can go through with the header footer. We can also add a column in here if we want. So there's a lot of different ways to go ahead and use this. And then in the elements, what I love is that there's headers that you can add in. There is also footers that you can add in. So let's say down here at the bottom, you want to add something else. There's also buttons. So maybe you need a button like sign up now. You can go ahead and link it. And you'll see here that the button has, we put it here in the top. So we just want to click wherever we want the button. So let's click under here and then let's now add our button. Now you can see the button has been placed here. You can resize it, you can reformat it, all within a couple clicks. You can add photos from our library. So we can add this. Obviously we'll put school, see what it comes up with. It's probably a little bit better. Coming up with some of the images and utilizing the Canva library. Once you've finished everything, remember you can still use Magic Write. You can say, rewrite this more like this. Okay, we can replace significant updates. So we can go ahead and put however we would like. And then what you can do is then you can share it to Gmail, to MailChimp, and be able to just export that email right there and be able to share it and save. So you're designing in Canva and then it's going right from there. All right. You can also now assign in Canva. So you can assign and track live student progress all in one. See who's working, who's submitted, and who's reviewed right in one place. You can see students working in real time. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at that. Oops. Okay, so I'm on my classwork page here, and I'm going to go back to home, and I'm going to go back to this. I'm going to go to classwork. I'm going to go to magic activities. I'm going to click on my magic activities that I've had here. And now I have this lesson. I can rename it if I want. I could have assigned right from magic activities there, but I can rename this what I want. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign this lesson to my students. So each class is a group. So you'll put in your groups here and then you'll go ahead and share. And then I'm going to say, please complete and submit when you are finished. And then I'm going to assign. I like to notify students, so that's on. And then I'm going to go ahead and click assign. And then here you can copy the link. So you can paste it in Google Classroom or wherever your announcements are. You can just go to the classroom and I can click here and I can see that I'm awaiting the assignment. So if I had a student who had opened one, which let me show you an example of a student who has done that. Okay, so I'm in my classworks folder here. And here you'll see I have an activity and I can see how many students have worked on it. These are awaiting the announcements. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on this. And here I can see that none of my students have submitted or worked on it. However, I do have an assignment to review. So I can review this here. This is an assignment that had been submitted through Google Classroom, which I'll show you. But I can review the assignment right here. I can review it in Google Classroom if I'd like. So when you're in Canva and in your classroom, you'll be able to see once students have worked on the assignment and you've assigned the lesson, which we have assigned, then as soon as they have started working on it, you'll be able to see as soon as they've opened it, the progress that they've worked on. So if it says not submitted, it means that they haven't worked through it. If it says in progress, then you're able to click on it and see where they are. And then you can also review. So once it's ready for review, it'll come here and then you'll be able to see what you've reviewed right there. We also have updated our Canvas and Google Classroom updates where you can assign, track, and live progress all in one place, see who's working, see who's submitted, and review everything right inside of Canva. So I'm going to go ahead and show you this on Google Classroom. We do have a guide on how to review this in Canvas, but now I'm going to show you in Google Classroom. Okay. So let's go ahead and let's work through how we do that. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to click on templates and I'm just going to go into an education presentation. And let's go ahead and let's just go to classroom rules. I'm going to customize this template. Let's say I've worked through the template. I've customized it to how I want. Maybe I want my students to sign at the back here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign this. And I can assign to students in Canva, which is what we did before, Google Classroom. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Assign in Google Classroom. Okay. And so now it is connect. Sometimes you may have to reconnect. And then I'm just going to put here Classroom Agreement. Please sign on the last page. Please review, read, and sign on the last page. I'm going to assign it to my classroom. This is optional for when you decide to do it. And I'm going to assign it in Google Classroom. I can view it now in Google Classroom. And so here my students they'll be able to see it. I can also see the student work just like I normally would. And then let's go ahead and let's look at what it looks like on the student side. So now I'm on the student side and I'm going to go ahead and click on my class. And here we can see that I just posted an assignment for them. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the assignment. It's going to open the design in Canva. I'm going to start the activity. Let's read it like I said. And then I'm just going to put in here text box, Leena, student. And then I'm going to put this because it said sign it. And then I'm going to put maybe script. There we go. All right. Now I signed it as the student. Okay. Now I'm going to submit it to Google Classroom. And I can view it in Google Classroom. I can see that I just submitted it. I can add any things. And now let's take a look at what it looks like on the teacher side. So now I'm back in the classroom agreement. I see that my student I'm going to go back to my thing. And I'm going to click on my assignment here. And we can see that we have one assignment to review. So I can click on it. It's going to open it in Canva. So now I'm reviewing it in Canva. Blah, 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 leaving my comments. I'll leave a comment here. Let's see, my student is still on it. Amazing. Thank you. Thank you. And then I'm going to add a little sticker. Positively amazing. And I'm going to submit it. And now they've done that. I can also then review it in Google Classroom if I want. So now I can see here, you did great, or thank you, whatever I want to say here. So now you're working between both Google Classroom and Canva. How amazing is that? All right, great. Okay. Will in our guidebook that we always have, we'll also share the example of how you can do Canvas using that. Okay, so we will be sharing. We just reviewed how to do the Google Classroom, and there are Canvas updates that will be in the guidebook. So make sure that you click on that and you save that. And now we're going to move into educator resources. So Engage Students in Canva is one of our newest courses. This course is designed to give you real classroom use cases and hands-on experience with Canva's tools so you feel confident bringing creativity into your lessons and into your classroom. Most people wonder, how do you even get to design school and how do you even really get anywhere? So on Canva, when you click on the More tab, you will find Design School right here. When you click on courses, you will see all of the courses here. You can sort by audience. So you can just say, I want all of the ones that are available for teachers. And our newest one is this Engage Students with Canva. You'll see here if it's a certificate, it will say shareable certificate. So Engage Students in Canva. There are 8 lessons: creating digital learning journals, AI-powered activities, learning with Canva Code, simplifying data with sheets, spark creativity with AI, fostering classroom collaboration, excite students with video, and then your test to be able to earn your certificate. Once you've earned your certificate, you'll see it in the achievements. And so you'll see all of your certificates here in the achievements. And I've completed my Engaged Student with Canva course. And it does tell you here the duration of training, and then you can share your certificates with others. Design School, Canva World Tour, learn how to use Canva in the classroom with free resources designed for teachers. So back in here, you'll be able to see there's lots of cheat sheets and resources. So if you're looking for something, you're not sure what to look for, you can do the same thing. You can sort by audience, you can sort by students or teachers, apply that, and you'll be able to see a bunch of resources. So when you click on it, you'll be able to see cheat sheets, Canva Code to spark inspiration. So there's a lot of resources here for you. And we just recently launched a lot of courses for Canva World Tour. So meet Canva's visual suite, scale creative campaigns, create scroll stopping content, work smarter with AI. You'll be able to see these 5 courses just launched for Canva World Tour. So pretty cool. Lots of resources if you're looking for something to kind of stretch your wings in a new way outside of just those types of resources. So I think that's pretty amazing. And did you miss the Canva keynote? Don't worry. You can catch all of the latest, newest launches on the Canva homepage. So let's go ahead and let's go to the launch page. So here I'm on canva.com, Canva World Tour. You'll be able to catch the keynote if you missed it, and then you'll be able to see the products. So I love to sort by what products by education, and then you'll see magic activities. You'll see Canva AI in the comments, creating a design from a single prompt, generating elements, data meets Canva code, and you'll see all of those tailored specifically for education. And then you'll see here all of the other things that have launched at Canva World Tour. So there's a lot of things. What's really neat about this page is that it also has, so we're talking about video, which is what they're talking about right here. Down here, there will be ones specific for education. So to be able to learn more about Canva. Wow, that was a lot of information in this one here. If you're missing, now we're going to move into helpful resources. Previous What's New events are always going to be here on this page. It's also in your guidebook, so have no fear. If you haven't already done so, we hope that you'll join our teacher community. There's over 130 educators. We also have communities from all over the world. And we hope that you will continue learning with Design School. And if you haven't already done so, please follow us on X. This is specific to just education. We'd love to see your Canva love, where you're sharing things that you're doing, and Canva tips. Our team loves to hear from you and hear what you're up to. Let's go ahead with some Q&A. We've had a lot of questions over the last few webinars, and we wanted to take some time to do some Q&A. There's been a lot of questions about how do I become eligible for Canva? Here on this page is where you can get verified, you can discover more with our schools, and then students can learn more. But this is going to have everything about eligibility guidelines, everything that you're able to do. So we definitely want to make sure that you're checking that out. Also on this page, when you click on teachers, you'll see a little bit more also, again, how to get verified with Canva. And the features page here, this also has a ton of new resources. It's where all of our new features for educations are features specific to education are featured. So I definitely recommend that you check that out. They also have what we call like learn and play. So when you click here and you click on try Canva Sheets, it's going to have a learn and play activity. So it's going to show you how to complete this activity and how to get really used to knowing how to do sheets. So that's something that we've heard a lot of. Is Canva education? I've answered this already. Is Canva education free? It really is. Canva is available in over 100 languages. And so you'll be able to see a lot of those AI features available to you. A lot of people ask, can you transfer this to your Google Classroom so you can assign right from Canva into your Google Classroom? You can also export most things from Canva into Google Classroom or to your Google Drive. You can just go to File, Share, and you'll be able to see them there in your Google Drive. Oh, great question. If you're wondering how to use Canva AI in the classroom, we do have a Canva AI in the classroom certification. And then we also have how to use Canva AI as part of the Engaged Students course. So we recommend that you check that out. Wow, we've covered a lot of information. Does Canva comply with COPA and FERPA regulations for student data? Yes, we do. And you can be sure to check that out on the Canva education page that I showed you earlier. It does have that there as well. The question is, how do I assign or how do I get students to fill out a poll or quiz or a form? How do I get them to fill out a form? I would just share this as a public view link. Let me show you what that means so that students don't have ability to editing your so if I were to do this with my students, I would either I would lock this element here, and then what you can do is you can share this as a public view link. You create the public view link, but I would do this with a form, and then what students will see is they will be able to see this, but they will not be able to like edit anything on here. So it's just kind of sort of like a website, but not a website. So it kind of gives you that ability that students can't mess around with anything in there. So lots of abilities there. Amazing. We have appreciated so much of your time, and thank you all so much for spending time and sharing the Canva love with us. We love to hear from you. We'd love to see what you're up to. So please make sure that you are tagging us on social media. It's our favorite place to be. Make sure you join the community groups. There's tons of other events that are going on. Thank you so much for joining us for this Canva World Tour edition. Have a wonderful day, everyone. And as always, keep on designing. Bye, everybody.